This is my Yashicaflex medium format camera that I bought for about 100 Australian dollars. It was in rough condition when I got it, with dried and missing pieces of the leatherette. The shutter was sticking at certain speeds as well, but after firing the shutter a bunch of times, it started working at all speeds. I also had to shim the focusing screen a little bit because I found that it was slightly out after shooting my first roll. Following that, I've had fun shooting this little TLR every now and then and created some nice images with it. It may not be the best TLR around, and mine wasn't in the best condition. For the price though, these represent great value. My favorite medium format system is still the Pentax 645N, and I'm also not great at shooting square compositions, but the Yashicaflex encourages me to improve that and to change things up, to think and see differently. With the waist level finder, it's also a different approach to the actual exposure process, a slower approach from a lower angle. This can be interesting on the street, where it doesn't tend to draw attention or intimidate people as much as shooting a camera from eye level, for example. So thanks for joining on this video. I'm Hashim, welcome if you're new. I wasn't initially sure I would make a video about the Yashicaflex, but I've had a few requests for it and I recently shot another roll through it, which encouraged me to go ahead. It's been about 5 years since I bought mine from eBay Japan, after I was curious at the time about wanting to finally try a TLR. There are quite a few variations of Yashica TLR cameras even within the specific models. I believe mine is a Yashicaflex Model A. It has no light meter, an f3.5 viewing lens and taking lens. And also I can't remember now, but I might have swapped one of the elements between the two lenses early on when I got it because there's some haze, especially in one of the lenses. Well, either that or my memory has haze in it because it's been a while. But that's the great thing about finding a bargain like this, is that you have more leeway to take risks. Mind you, I was checking eBay regularly for a while before finding one at a bargain price like this. But even then, you can still get a nice example for a couple of $100 pretty easily. There are more popular options like the Yashica Mat 124G and others that might have a faster lens or the crank advance and no need to cock the shutter manually. But this series tends to go for lower prices and go a little bit more unnoticed. They have a simple approach similar to a Rolleiflex camera, and I mentioned some comparison points to that in my review of the Rolleiflex 3.5 that I borrowed from my friend Nick. If you want to check that out, there's a separate video that I'll leave a card for. But this Yashicaflex has a thumb wind film advance and focus dial, which are both on the right hand side. There's a cold shoe on the left side and exposure control dials on the front near the lenses. So you manually have to cock the shutter here near the lens and you fire it using the button below. It goes up to 1/500th of a second, which is pretty good in my opinion. The focusing screen isn't the brightest, but it's okay. There's also a magnifier and sports finder option. Overall, it's lightweight, fun to use, and produces some really nice images. Now, in terms of the lens rendering, keeping in mind that some of mine could be particular to the condition of my copy and not indicative of a mint example. I also suspect that the focus might still be slightly out on mine, and there's at least some haze in both lenses. But with all that said, the rendering is pleasant and has a lot of character. You can get a fairly swirly bokeh when shooting at large apertures. It's pretty soft wide open, so I would ideally stop down to get sharper images, and after about f5.6, it may not be perfect into the corners, but plenty sharp enough for me, while maintaining some of that character. There's not as much micro contrast as the Rolleiflex camera that I compared it to, but it wasn't too far off. 6x6 negatives are pretty big if you've never shot and seen them before, and it's really cool to see a fresh roll with 12 square images on it hanging to dry. The last roll I shot was of the new Kentmere 200 film developed in Ilfotec HC. I'll show some more images from that roll and talk about scanning and printing 6x6 negs, but before that, I just want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Pixpa. Pixpa is an affordable and easy to use website builder designed for creatives. I've tried and compared a few options over the years, but personally found Pixpa to offer the best value all-in-one solution. Their client galleries give you a streamlined and professional way to deliver galleries to clients, friends, or family. There are heaps of great templates to suit various creative fields, and the site builder is easy to use. You can also have an online store and blog under the same roof. If you're not sure, they have a free 15-day trial so you can see if it works for you. Follow the link in the video description to find out more and for a discount on your first year if you sign up. Thank you to Pixpa for sponsoring this video. 6x6 negatives like the ones from the Yashicaflex are really easy to scan using a variety of methods. Most labs can scan them and they're big enough to get sharp scans even from a flatbed scanner. I currently digitize them with my Canon 5D Mark IV and macro lens. I'm working on an updated video on this process, which will be out in the next few weeks. You'll get plenty of resolution from such a large negative, meaning it's easy to make prints from the scan. Better yet, you can make darkroom prints directly from the negative and have plenty of room to crop if you want. So, would I recommend a Yashicaflex or similar Yashica TLR camera? Absolutely. I think it's a great way to get into medium format. In fact, I think it's a great way to get into film even if you don't already shoot 35mm. It's affordable and allows you to shoot 6x6 frames on 120 film. The look and character jump from 35mm or even digital is undeniable. It may not be as good as a Rolleiflex in some ways, but there's certain things that I actually prefer about it. In terms of drawbacks, my main issues with this camera are the difficulty of focusing due to the screen and the f3.5 lenses. I also don't like the rendering of backgrounds in certain shots. It can result in a busy looking bokeh and not always give you that pleasant swirly look, depending on how far you are from the subject. The last drawback is the softness at wider apertures, at least with my copy of the camera. So combining these three factors often deters me from wanting to shoot at wider apertures, which is a bit of a shame. So my next aim is to try another Yashicaflex TLR like the 124G or something else with an f2.8 or maybe a brighter screen, or both. If you have thoughts on this camera or recommendations on similar ones, leave it in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.